we have on someone making their UFC debut at UFC 194, the current RFA champion, 6-1 as a pro. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Jocelyn Lybarger. Jocelyn, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Aaron, too, come on now. You know I got married. It's Jocelyn Jones Lybarger.
Oh, man. Let me do it again then real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Jocelyn Jones Lybarger. And I did actually tell my co-host that you were married, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So I knew. Shout out to Mrs. Jones, by the way. Jocelyn, this is incredible. In the past month, you didn't even really have time to celebrate. You had probably one of the biggest upsets in women's MMA just because people underestimate you, not because there's anything against you, but you went into it as a huge underdog. An incredible performance against Zuela Frosto. Incredible. Become the RFA champ. Then everyone's lobbying for you to go to the UFC. All of a sudden, there's an injury. No one else steps up. Boom. You're in. So are you still in shape? How are you feeling? Are you ready to, as the underdog, upset again?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm in shape. I had a gut feeling that, after my performance and winning, that the call can come anytime. And, when Sean Shelby calls you don't want to say no because you're not going to make weight or you're not training because they're never going to call you again. So, John Crouch and everybody at the MMA lab, I was right back to work, after winning the belt. And, I'm always fight ready and to take a fight, 2.5 weeks notice to make my UFC debut on this kind of card. I'm super excited.
When I met you in 2010, maybe even 2009, I think 2010 though, you even said back then your goal is you want to fight in the UFC, even though they don't have a women's division at the time. You still wanted to fight. So what did it feel like to finally get that call? How crazy was it?
Man, when Sean called me on Tuesday, I just started crying. And he was laughing at me, but I couldn't help it. I was just crying because I was so happy that the emotions were just running through me, and it's crazy. The hard work pays off, but the hard work's not going to stop now because I don't want to be known just for making it. I actually want to go in. A lot of these girls, a lot of them I can beat, and I want to go in there and make some noise.
That's what I was going to say. You're the RFA champ 6-1. If you beat someone who's undefeated, like Tecia, who's 6-0, she's pretty much a title contender. Do you pretty much then unify the belt? I know you probably won't keep the RFA one, but do you pretty much step right into a title shot? Because everyone else is either injured, has been beaten by the champ, and you'll be 7-1 with a huge victory over someone who's undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah, I haven't even processed that yet because I have, Tecia on my mind. But, depending on my performance, you never know what they'll do. But, when her hand gets better, because I think the champ broke her hand or something in the last fight. I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Jocelyn, you come from a pretty cerebral camp. Game planning is very important, as evident in your last fight. We were just talking about it. That was an absolute masterpiece that you painted, a bloody canvas. For 5 rounds, you pieced apart this poor girl. What's the game plan without getting into too much detail? Is the game plan pretty much the same thing going in against Tecia Torres? Or do the people at the lab have you changing everything up and adapting to the specific opponent?
We changed a few things, I won't say, but that's what kind of fighter I am. I like to push the pace. I like for my opponent's back to be on the cage, and I want to control the tempo. I want to know when we're going to the ground, when we're standing. But, I do like to stand, but I haven't even really got to showcase my wrestling nor jiu-jitsu. In the last fight, I had a few takedowns, took her back, body triangle, stuff like that, and I felt good. But, yeah, there is going to come a time where I'm going to showcase, the rest of my skills. People just keep talking about my hands, and people are saying I don't throw kicks, but we had a game plan not to throw kicks. I didn't want to give her the space so Zoila can throw her kicks. So that's why I was really crowding her, people don't understand that, but we have a great team, under John Crouch at the lab.
That's what I was going to ask you. I think, aren't you training with Benson, Joe Riggs, and other UFC fighters? It's a really strong camp. So tell us about your gym and your team.
Yeah, we practice 2 times a day, and it's always, the pros together. From our team, we have 19 UFC fighters on the roster. It's pretty crazy. But, yeah, Joe Riggs was with me this morning, did some of my rounds with Jocelyn Meza, Efren Escondero was back in the gym today. I had some rounds with Lauren Murphy today. I mean, the list goes on, but the cool thing is it's always all of us together pushing each other. And, making my UFC debut, I've had, all of the guys in my corner and even Lauren, and they've all been giving me, great advice.
All right, well, let me ask you a question, and take this, as a friend, but I feel like this possibly is happening. I think they're sending you in as a sacrificial lamb. First they did it at RFA. They said, no way can she beat Zola. This is going to be Zola's big comeback. We can put her back as champion. Boom, you spoiled that party big time. Now they're saying Tecia, title contender, who can we throw in last minute? Same situation again. I think you're going to upset and spoil the party again. Do you go in there with a bit of a chip on your shoulder thinking that they're sending you in there to lose?
Yeah.
And they're completely underestimating you. Does that give you any added motivation? Or do you feel that that's not accurate?
No, I feel that's right. A lot of people are thinking that, and that's what a lot of people did, the last fight. But it doesn't add fuel because the fuel's already there. Like, I want to win. Like, this is my job. And to stay on top and keep doing well at my job, I have to keep winning, to make money for my family, to do what I love. And, I'm a competitor. I have a lot of Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but I was going to say, that's what I've noticed is when you first came in the scene, it's always the same with everyone. You got to have some kind of gimmick or shtick to get your name out. You were one of the twins. You had the older sister, adult star. You had these things, and you were learning and developing as a fighter. Now you're 6-1. It's like now you're just a fighter. When I was telling Adrian today, my co-host, he goes, hold on, isn't she the one with the twin? I'm like, yes, that's Jocelyn Lybarger. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know who she is. So what does it feel like? Do you feel like you're finally getting validation as Jocelyn Jones Lybarger as an individual and getting respect for your skills?
Oh, yes, yes. A big thing when I went to the lab, and I've been there almost 4 years now, is John Crouch really says substance over style. Forget all the, the flash, the media stuff, just all of that, like, fake stuff. Like, you got to be winning. You got to be, you got to work hard in the gym. Like, hard work pays off, and that's what's going to get you. Not the other stuff. Not the sexy pictures half naked on Instagram. Like, none of that BS. Like, you got to go in there, and you got to take care of it in the cage.
Yeah, if you're winning, then it doesn't matter what you look like, what you do. If you're winning, that's what happens.
I have a question for you. I would love to get your perspective from another fighter in a similar division, not the same division, but the Ronda Rousey Holly Holm fight. How did you break that fight down, and what do you think Ronda Rousey's what's next for her? I'm curious to get your perspective.
I think Ronda's going to be back. I mean, she's one of the things. Thanks to her, it's because we're in the UFC, bottom line. I have so much respect for her. She just got beat that night, and I don't know if she was expecting it or thought it would go a different way, but for sure, 100%, I see her coming back. I see her, being, back on top again, and we'll see how it plays out, but she's a true competitor.
All right, and, excuse me, and then Jocelyn, it's been a long road from your amateur career to where you are now. Tell us, how have you progressed and become a complete fighter? I know you said you were known for your hands, but you have wrestling to display. How did your journey into martial arts start? Because I remember you telling me the story, but I can't exactly remember.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, after going to Jill's second amateur fight, that's when I started doing it, back in, in Orange County with Jeff Morgan and Jeremiah, with all those boys. But, it's really when I moved here to Arizona and started training at the lab, that's when I just really, bit down and went 100% full throttle. This is what I'm going to do. And it's going pretty well. But you also have to have that support system, and my support system at home, my wife, Jana, our stepdaughters, like, I'm truly blessed, and if you didn't have that, it's going to make it harder. But, I mean, it can be done. But I have to thank everybody, at the lab and John Crouch for where I'm at.
I'm going to have a Joe Rogan moment. I shed a tear. I shed a damn tear, and I cried. When you won the RFA championship, your sister posted a video from the bar, and
Uh-huh.
your family was going crazy. They had all the bar TVs on your fight. That was incredible.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention that about your family. They're such a huge support system, and it must be amazing to know that they have your back and to go into the cage with their support.
Yeah, you know that you pretty much met them all. They were always at all the amateur fights. We're in Vegas at Tough Enough and stuff like that. But it's crazy how it's full circle now, and here we are talking again.
UFC 194, Tecia Torres is your opponent. Real quick, tell me what you find a strength of hers and what you find a weakness of hers, something that you might be able to exploit.
Oh, a few weaknesses. She's not known, really for her cardio, but I mean, we'll see this time. She's been training for a while because she's known about this fight. As far as, she likes to throw and move, but, the key is, you just have to push the pace on her. I think it's going to be a good fight. She's going to come in shape, and we'll see if we stand and bang, and or if she just wants to take me down. That usually tends. What happens is when you start getting hit in the face, when you don't like getting hit, and you go for the takedown. So I'm excited.
She's 6-0 with all of her wins by decision. 7-0 as an amateur, 5 of those wins by decision. So she's going to try to grind you out. She's going to go in there. So are you going to be prepared to grind it out with her and give us your prediction for the outcome of the fight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I see myself winning by decision. That's what I like to do, is grind it out. Like, if I get you against the fence, you're not going to get off.
All right. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Last thing, okay. I was telling my co-host, I was saying how I'm still pissed off even thinking about it. I'm so mad about your hair for some reason because I wish I had it. Let me ask you, now that you're in the UFC, who has the best hair in the UFC? Jocelyn Jones Lybarger or Sage Northcutt?
Mine!
I gotta agree.
Okay, so you're going on record saying you have better hair than Sage.
Yeah, he needs to blow dry it more. He used too much product, so if you touch it, it probably feels really hard.
Is that what I'm doing wrong? I gotta use a blow dryer?
Yes!
I don't know that trick.
Remember.
I really don't know that trick. I just use like goopy stuff.
No, and hair product, less is more.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jocelyn, is there anything you want to promote, or where can we find you? Do you have a website? We have your Twitter address up on the screen, but do you have a website or any people? I know obviously your sponsor is Reebok. I'm sure you're thrilled about that, but do you have any people that are helping you along the way that can't be in the cage?
Yeah, I want to thank Cancer Treatment Centers of America. You guys rock. You guys know that. But also everybody at the MMA Lab, my whole team, and my wife, Jana.
All right. Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for short notice for taking the time to chat with us. And, I mean, this is incredible. I remember watching her at Tough Enough Amateur Fighting Championships in Vegas. What's up, Jeff? Now to UFC 194. Freaking Conor McGregor versus Aldo. This is incredible. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. It's kind of a rocky moment watching someone literally go up the ranks to the big show. This is great. And we wish you nothing but continued success, and we'll be rooting for you every step of the way.
Let me say something real quick, Aaron.
Sure.
I remember my amateur debut, and then after I weighed in, we had to go over an interview with you, and I looked at you, and I was like, oh, my God, I've always wanted to talk to you.
Thank you for saying that, because no one ever believes it when I tell them about that one moment.
So you're the one.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jocelyn. Ladies and gentlemen, Jocelyn Jones Lybarger making her debut, UFC 194.